Welcome to Topstep Funded Trader Interview. I'm Eddie Horn, and today we're going to have one of our funded traders with us, and his name is Ray. But before we get into speaking with Ray, remember, have your pencil sharpened, ink in your pen, because taking notes can benefit you down the road. Without further ado, our funded trader, Ray. Ray, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing, Eddie?
I am fine. Thank you very much for asking. Now, this is a slightly different funded trader interview. Of course, Ray's funded, but Ray's been with us for a while. He's been going through some education classes with our good friend John Hoagland, the Hoag.
Mhm.
And we're going to be talking a little bit about that and a little bit about Ray's journey. Now, Ray, where are you from? What state are you from?
I'm from California, San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, beautiful. What's the temperature out there right now?
It's a cool 65.
Cool. See, it's hotter here in Chicago. There you
Yeah,
go. It's hotter in
yeah.
Chicago. You know what? Tell us about yourself a little bit, little background, what you got going.
Okay. Well, my background is in IT. I was started my career in the IT industry. I was a quality assurance, director, manager for a number of tech companies, and some you might be familiar with, Intuit, Yahoo, Shutterfly were some of the companies I've been a part of, and most recently, I actually made the shift into teaching. So now I'm actually a high school math, Spanish, science teacher. So,
All three of those, huh? Wow.
well, no, actually math and Spanish, but I mean, I've taught math and I've taught science and I've taught technology recently. So yeah, I made the transition. I think what it really came down to it was, um, do I focus on the legacy of someone else, and the shareholders, or do I focus on my own legacy? And I think I reached the point in my career that I want to focus on my legacy.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. You got to put yourself number one at some time in your life. Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Now, what or who got you interested in this wonderful thing we call trading?
Honestly, I've always had an interest. I think as you interact with people, they kind of dabble into the market, and from there you kind of take your curiosity gets the best of you, and you kind of go from there. So my career really started in stock. I was kind of invested in stock. I had a little bit of cash that I guess I generated from some of the cashing in on some of the options from the companies I've been a part of. And so, yeah, I started with stocks, and honestly, I caught the bug.
Well, it's a good bug.
Mhm.
I tell you, for the time I've been in it, sometimes it's a bad bug, but you know what? You always come full circle and give it a hug and say, you know what? I like you, bug. Uh,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
um, now, what first got you interested in futures?
Well, it's interesting because the natural progression for me was stocks, and then I went to options. I said, look, there's so much money that you have to kind of fork up to get into any sort of significant position in stock. And I said, well, then I kind of got myself educated a bit in options. And then I think they started to have these kind of day trade limits that you have to have a certain level of account. And then at that point, I started looking and say, hey, are there other options where that maybe they don't have these kind of day trade limits? And I came upon futures, right? So that's kind of how I've evolved and got to where I am today as far as futures goes.
Okay, how about a favorite market? What's your favorite market to
So
trade?
yeah, my favorite market would have to be crude oil and gold. Those are my two kind of go-to markets that I trade on a daily basis. The equities market, if I feel bold enough, I may dabble into the Nasdaq, but I have to be in a very good frame of mind because all the jittery. I have to
Yes.
be in, as they say, I have to be in my zen to be trading in the Nasdaq market. But generally, I'm a commodity trader, a commodity futures trader. I focus on crude and gold are my go-to markets.
Okay, I know that that Nasdaq can be like sitting at a Formula One race in the first row. and
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
can be quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have the options to pick and choose our tools and our indicators and so forth. What are some of your favorite tools and
You know,
indicators?
yeah, I think the one that I kind of gravitated to is VWAP.
Okay.
It is my kind of go-to as far as targets, as far as potential trend follower kind of indicator. And then I would say probably a close second would be market profile. So I think I owe it to John. I think I can call him John. On the market profile aspects, he kind of is part of the performance coaching. He got us introduced to the market profile, and I've kind of dug in pretty deep into that market profile.
Right. He's very, very good at market profile.
Mm-hmm.
He's even grabbed me by the collar and showed me how to read the market profile on the trading floor.
Oh,
And
excellent.
I've used that. Definitely use that.
So I would say VWAP and market profile are my go-to, and then I have some, I guess, studies that I use with regard to exhaustion levels. Average daily range exhaustion is another one that I use quite a bit. But at the end of the day, if I had to describe my trading, I would say I'm more of a mean reversion type of trader. So the idea is that if the market goes any one direction with any kind of strength,
Right.
the natural tendency is kind of this. You have this kind of rubber band to eventually come back to my VWAP, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of my go-to.
All right. How about favorite trade setups? Anything you could share with us?
I think my favorite setup, as I just mentioned, is I think depending on the time of day, there is always some sort of reversal that happens in the market, and it is in that time that I execute some sort of reversal trade. So the market picks a direction, and then sometime during the session it comes back to kind of either validate the strength of that initiative behavior, or just to kind of test the waters again to see if there's any more buyers or sellers depending on what direction you've gone. And I usually try to get involved in those kind of trades.
Okay. I appreciate that. Strengths. What would you consider one of your
Yeah, I
best
would say
strengths?
I would say my strength is probably in the analysis of the markets. I think I've gotten to a point now where I can identify levels on a chart.
How about fess up? How about a
That's
weakness? How about a weakness?
honestly, the one thing I would say is probably the thing that I struggle with the most is my psychology, my trade psychology. Something that I work on all the time. You know, um, you have these urges where you want to abandon everything that you've learned or analysis that brought you to where you're at, and then you to fall back on maybe some things that have got you into trouble. Um, so I would say that my psychology is a work in progress.
Right. And for a lot of us, it is. I mean, that's where it starts. It's the mindset. It's
Mm-hmm.
how you prepare yourself. It's we've all got the same charts, same platforms. We're all looking at the same market. It's just a matter of your mindset and the choices you make, actions you take.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
now let me ask you about Top Step. How did you find Top Step?
Well, honestly, when I was getting into the futures market, I was really looking for, someone who can kind of educate me a little bit, right? Futures obviously carries a lot of risk, and I just didn't want to go in without any sort of background or knowledge. So as I was doing, I guess, research, doing some internet searches, I came across Topstep, and I think what kind of perked my interest was, being able to one, educate myself and also participate in the market without investing any sort of significant amount in my capital. So that was really kind of a win-win for me.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, just finding something that works,
Mm-hmm.
that is comfortable, and enjoyable to learn. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, sometimes that gets to be a little hard, and I'm glad that you found us.
Yes.
Now, how long have you been here with Top Step?
Ooh. I want to say probably I'm probably coming up on 4 years now. Um, Yeah, maybe 3 to 4 years, somewhere in that range. Kind of right. Basically, at the same amount of time I've been trading futures.
Okay. All right. Now, the mention of Mr. Hoagland, the Hoag,
Mm,
John
mm,
Hoagland.
mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. Now, how did you discover the one-on-one, the coaching
Yeah.
performance with John Hoagland?
Yeah. Now I didn't, I mean, I think I caught wind of Hoagland in some other capacities. I think he's done some webinars and some other, I think it may be futures.io, I think was what maybe a website that I saw him. So as I was doing some research on the Topstep side, and I was kind of figuring out exactly what I wanted to do, I said, well, I probably would benefit from some coaching. And I noticed that, Hoag was one of the coaches as part of Topstep. And I've watched some of his, I guess, YouTube videos and webinars that he had given in the past. And I said, I know that he also traded on at the time knew that he traded off the floor. Right. So that I thought was, good. I said, well, if I'm going to learn from anybody, why not learn from somebody who actually traded off the floor?
Well, that's a good angle to approach. Do the same thing. Now, mentioning coaching. Now, we talked a little bit before the interview. You yourself now
Yes.
are a coach. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yes. Well, after I got done with my performance coaching, and I was kind of working through my combines, or actually getting, to get funded, I came across actually an alum of Topstep. Her name is Diana Angelo. She's the I guess managing director of Market Stalkers. She was an alum, and she, I as I was doing research, she came across. She's done some really good YouTube videos on market profile, order flow, and things of that nature. And then, again, as I was trying to get myself, to pass these combines, I came across her, and I enrolled in some courses. I think I started with one of her Udemy courses. Okay. And one thing led to another. And once I got funded, she offered me an opportunity to coach in her community. So I'm actually one of her, I guess, one of 2 or 3 coaches for her Market Stalker program.
See, that's fantastic. It's sort of one to another, to another, to another. And it doesn't stop there. And the thing is, it's, somebody took John aside and taught him. I know his dad was a great trader on the trading floor, and he's always got, great anecdotes from his dad and quotes absolutely. From his dad.
Absolutely.
And he's probably shared some of those with you. And, it's just, it's like the, the forward it, help out who you can. So
yeah, absolutely.
Props to you on that.
Thank you.
Now, besides trading, Ray, do you got any hobbies, collections, music, sports?
Yeah. I guess I'm a recovered baseball. Okay. I played baseball most of my life, and then I moved into softball, and then most recently I've been playing golf, quite a bit of golf. So I'm a golfer.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Golf is a lot like trading too. I know there's a book out there. I can't remember the name of it, but a lot of traders insist that if you exchange the word golf to trade, the book will teach you how to trade.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of parallels, especially on the psychology, right, and committing to a shot before you take it, right, and kind of putting all these doubts aside. Sure. So yeah, no, I especially on the psychology side of things, I definitely see a lot of parallels between golf and trading.
I hope that does you good. All right, got time for one more question here.
Sure.
And I want to make it a fun question, right?
Okay.
All right. Your long lost Uncle Phineas has passed. Okay. God rest his soul. But the good news is that he has left you $1 million tax free. Right.
Wow.
Tax free. That's the wow. It's a tax free. Now, are you going to spend this, or are you going to invest it? What are you going to do with it?
Well, out of respect for my great uncle Phineas, is that his name?
Close enough. He was long lost, so he's gone. He won't. It
Yeah. So
doesn't matter.
out of respect for him, I would say that I would want to invest it, right? I don't think, obviously it took, quite a bit of time for my uncle to gather that sum of money. And I wouldn't want to, out of respect for his name and his life, I just wouldn't want to frivolously just, throw it away. So I think I would want to invest it and potentially, from those investments, offer something in the way of, those in need, I guess, maybe do some charity work or some charity support as a result of my dear uncle.
Wow, that's very nice. See, and the 1970s Corvette never even came into the picture, right?
No, no, I know, yeah, those things kind of come in. I think those things kind of come and go. I think the thing that, I mean, the fact that he's willing to leave me all that money tax free. I hopefully I could do the same for someone else down the road.
You're a good man, Ray. You're a good man. I would
Thank
have
you.
got the Corvette, but anyway, I'll pick you up and we'll do some charity work.
Oh yeah, that perfect.
Okay.
I would love that.
Well, Ray, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Likewise.
Before you go, real quick,
Yeah.
John mentioned to me to mention to you, to mention to everybody about the limping wildebeest.
Limping wildebeest.
Tell
Yes.
us about this limping wildebeest.
Well, when people talk about strategies, and things of that nature, and one of the things that that we kind of poke fun on is that I usually wait, right, for my level. Okay. Much like a lion waits for their prey.
Right.
Okay. So we got into this kind of conversation. I says, Ray, you're probably looking for that limping wildebeest, or that, what he would say, three-legged wildebeest, right? Right about this area here, right? And he knew exactly what areas, kind of an area of a balance area, kind of hide in the weeds, wait for that three-legged wildebeest to kind of come through. So that's kind of been kind of our running joke. And every time I see him, and sometimes I pop in on his opening. There's like a webinar that he does in the mornings, and he'll always make reference to me and the wildebeest and the three-legged wildebeest. So that's been something that's kind of carried over since my time with him.
Of course, and for a lion, that's an easy meal.
Yes,
That's a
exactly.
happy meal.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, that's kind of how it came to be, because he noticed that I was more of a value trader, I guess, and waited for, kind of the right time. And what better prey than a three-legged or limping wildebeest, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Free lunch. Free lunch.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Ray, once again, thank you very much for being with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And until we meet again, I'm Eddie Horn. Stay focused, stay positive, trade well, take care.